Hello and welcome back to the next in our series of creating a factory style game in Unreal. Sorry it's been a long week since I last posted. Did a bit of a family weekend, so I only managed to get the one video out last week. Also work's really busy, so that's been sort of killing me at the moment. But apart from that, yeah, I just want to say thank you, because we reached 50 subscribers. And that's fantastic. Might not sound a lot, but it is to me. And in the space of what, about 3 weeks or so, that's not bad going. I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with that. So thank you very much for all those that are subscribed, and anybody else who's watching, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel out get seen, and you know, the more it can help, the better it is. So let's get on with it. Where did we leave it? We left it with a resource node, didn't we? It's been that long, I can't remember all the settings I did on this, but yeah, I'll manage to pick back up as I work along. I want to point out the thing in the background there. Please ignore that. No, I'll have to show you. I did a little bit of 3D mod, and I mean a little bit. I just didn't spend too much time, and I just revamped my generator a bit. That's all. So now it looks like this rather than the blue thing. It needs some texture. It needs some more detail work. I did a little bit of detail work on there. As you can see, there's some fans behind there which actually do work. In fact, yeah, let me just show you. Sorry, I'll probably let you guys have a copy of this. As you can see, the fans spinning up there. But at the moment it's not really finished, so I don't think it's really fair to give something out. But as you can see, fans top and bottom there spinning up. There's the generator. There we go. If I click on there and I click the deactivated thing, and you watch them wind themselves back down, they're slightly, well, they're not sort of offset, but they do both have random values that they use to speed up and slow down, so hopefully just give them a little bit of difference. As you can see, a little bit there. There you go. You can barely see them, and maybe in game you'll be able to. Maybe I can make those vents a bit bigger. But as you can see, the sockets should, oh, forgot I did that. Need to fix that. Should still connect as usual. There we go. I can't connect it to one of these because it doesn't allow me. A little message in the top left. That's just the way it's just sitting there at the moment until we move it. I'm gonna have to change that eventually, but as you can see, they work exactly the same. Yeah, no different. All I've done is move the detection spheres there for the connection. That's all I've done. These are little objects that I've modeled here. So if I come to the generator, the viewport, there we go. All I've done is move the new spheres to match the new locations of these sockets. That's all I've done. I'll probably put covers on these eventually, but it's not really finished. As you can see, there's the fans. Once it is, then maybe I'll release this to you guys if you're interested in that. But it just needs a bit of work on it. It was quick and dirty. I did spend a bit of time doing this vent, making it look a little bit nicer, but yeah, it's just, it was made. I realised afterwards I was spending too much time on it. I just wanted to get it working, so we can use it in game a little bit. Okay, so what are we doing? Well, we've done our resource node using the resource base here. I've decided that I might not create children of this at the moment because they are not going to have anything different in code. So basically this base already stores a resource type. Now that might change a bit further down the road. We might come across a type of resource that requires something else. Then we will have to do a child class. So what I could do is maybe make one child class for now and just call that ores. Yeah, so then all the ores come off of this, and they'll all be just using this value here to set the resource type. There we go, over here to whatever. I don't know if anybody of you knows, but knows what bauxite is. Bauxite is the raw ore that becomes aluminium. It is mined, so I wasn't sure if it was, but they convert the bauxite into alumina, I believe, and then the alumina into aluminium. So that is probably the way I want to go with the game. I want to try and keep it a little bit realistic as possible. Doesn't mean it will be, but we'll try. So now we're going to go back into the realm of another building, and this one's going to be the miner. So let's do that now. So what we want, we need to make a child class of our building, don't we? So let's come in. Base classes. We have our building base class. I'm going to right click and create child blueprint. I'm going to call this BP miner. I'm going to call it small for now. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to call it. I'm just going to put a basic miner on. This is going to be the lowest of the low miners, yeah, and it really is going to be basic. My hope is to have maybe 2 or 3 different types of miner, a basic, a mobile, and then an advanced, but then each one will have some sort of upgrades and modifications we can put into it. Not 100% sure yet. Again, I'm coding along kind of with you guys. I'm coming up with a lot of these ideas as I'm actually doing this in front of you guys. So I just wanted to, I know all best practices is plan ahead for this sort of thing, but a lot of people don't have the time for that. They just want to jump in. So this is kind of showing you how that will kind of work if you know, and try and think on your feet. I do think of ideas in the week, and I do try and jot them down, but I always forget I've done that. But I still remember that, you know, the ideas. So anyway, so in our blueprints now, we need to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this mining, and we're going to give this a color as well so we can see it. Let's choose a new color. Let's go with a darker grey, sort of like that. Yeah, sort of dirty colour for mining, kind of like coal. Not sure yet if coal's going to be one of the resources. It may or may not be. Not 100% sure on that one yet. It adds the complexity and the difference in it, I suppose. We could have it so we've got coal and then we've got fuel based and working on from there. But yeah, let's stick with this for now. So we have all our folders here. Let's just minimize some of these a little electrical. So we want to drop this miner into the mining section. I'm just going to right click on here and just fix up directors because I haven't done that for a while. So in here we have our small miner. So let's open her up, and she's gone right in the middle. Let's pop it up here. I'm going to close the electrical cable, close the generator, close the resources, and I'll leave the base open in case we're going to do some work on there for something different. So miner, what's the miner going to do? Well, obviously it's going to mine. So we're going to need to have some sort of graphical weirdness going on here to show it working. So I'm going to, what am I going to do? I don't want to overdo this. So we're bringing a cube. We need it above the ground, but that's a meter cube. I'm thinking the small miner should be what? About 3 meters long and 2 meters wide. So if I make it sort of 1.5 meters wide, so it fits in the 2 meter section, yeah. Yeah, so let's put that 1.5. Oh, not 105. Missed the full stop there. 1.5. That's not a 5. Jeez, not with it today. Wide, and then we want it 3 meters long. So if we say 2.5 long, and I'm not going to change the height on this at the moment. So let's bring this up 50. So it should be resting on the ground, I think. It should be, because I've not changed the scale of the height, and that's on a meter, and it was halfway through the ground, so 50 should be. We can just check this actually, just quickly check. Bring you out. There we go. There we go. Right, okay, let's get back in there. In the small miner. I'm going to change the colour of this at some point. I just want it to look a little bit different, but yeah, let me just put this one. It's like silver colour, just to make it look a bit different. Yeah. Now all good miners have a drill. Now, I'm not going to animate and build a drill here in this episode. It will take way too long. If you want, I could do that at some point, a separate sort of side episode to show you how to animate a drill head or something. But for now, I'm just going to make it look like it's got something sticking out the top of it. So we want... Ooh, I can't spell again. I keep putting sick. Cylinder. Okay, so we'll call that miner, and we'll call that drill. Okay, so we want it about half of its current size. It's weird sizes, isn't it? 0.6666. Oh, it's because of the scale, isn't it? Let's do it. World scale. And we want this at... No, we don't want it that wide. Maybe... Yeah, but we want it quite tall. Maybe not 5. Maybe... No, 5 probably might have been good. Actually, let's try 3. Let's try 3. And if we set this up to... we want this at 1.5, I guess. No, actually, I don't care what it is. Let's just bring it up, as long as it's still sticking in there. So that's just going to be the drill end. I'm not going to make it look fantastical, because, no. It's not what this is about. Not what this is about at all. So, there we go. We have a box for our miner. Looks nothing like a miner, and it has a drill rod coming down. That's all I care about. So to start with, we're going to have only a basic driller. To be honest, I really should make this a drill. I should rename this, shouldn't I? Yes, I made a bit of a boo-boo there. Let's not make the drill small. Let's make... Oh. A base. Because obviously all miners are going to be based off this. Now, I can't remember if I had powered building types. I think this might be the one. There we go. So this is going to be in there, which should already be in the base class. So default building name. So this is just the... Stay as a small there. Did I rename that? Let's have a look. Yeah, I wonder why it stays. Maybe it's just a name. No, it says it's miner base. It's just not. It's just not updating it in the editor. Not to worry. It's still the same. It's still linked. So I'm not too fussy. It'll probably change when it reloads. So this is going to be. What would it call it? It's just a miner. Yeah, just a miner. Now this is on a grid size of 2 by 3, and it's a powered building. Now this one is going to be static. I'm going to use this as a small static miner. That's all that I need to put in there. Yep. So yeah, there's our mobile static. Yep. So that's all we need in there, and the base building name. Okay, that would be miner as well, won't it? I didn't really need to put a player building, and that's what players will name it. I will probably get that to automatically be that on construction, and then they change it as they want. Okay, right. So we have a miner. How's this miner going to work? So there's 2 ways we could do this. We could either put a collision sphere on this, or a collision sphere on the miner. Now, I'm probably edging towards putting one on the resource node. So let's come into our resource base, come to the viewport, and zoom in as it's really far away. It's so far away. I don't know why it does that. I think it's because the object is so big. Get up here and get zoomed in. I want to be able to see what I'm looking at. Right. Okay, so I don't know if I actually spoke about this. I might have done. Is I'm going to have Obviously the radius is down here for the all range modifiers. Yeah, we've got all those hard coded into this one for now. We can change those randomly or whatever on spawn, or when we, whatever we like. We can physically place them, we can not. But what I am going to do is I'm going to have just a radius around that this is done. Now it's only going to be like, so it's in effect going to be like a cylinder rather than a circle, because otherwise I'd have to put the circle underground. I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is have a radius around here, which will say to a miner whether he's allowed to mine, or whether he's in reach of this miner. Now we could also do range monitors on width modifiers, on width. Right now I'm not going to do that. That's going to start getting complicated. So all we're going to do is put some sort of collision sphere on this for now, so that a miner has to be within a certain range of this for it just to work. Yeah. So let's just add in a collision sphere, which normally, I always thought it was in the default list there. I always thought it was at the top. So we're going to go collision sphere. Okay, and this is going to be mining range. Okay, so the radius of this sphere, what are we going to set it to? See what 1,000 looks like. Yeah, that might be decent. That might be decent. About 1,000 units. So you've got to be within 10 meters of the center of the node. So compile and save that. Now, what am I going to do? Am I going to create a new? Trace response for this? I think I will. So, as we did before with our build allowed, which is highlighted there, I'm going to add a new one in. So we're coming to edit, project settings, and then we're going to say type in trace, and it's in the trace channels here, but it's not actually a trace channel, it's a collision channel. So I've got to type collision, even though it's mixed in, you've still got to use the collision channel. Where is the collision channels? Okay, am I missing it? Is it in the same one? Maybe it is in the same one. No, object channels. There we go. Object channels. So this one already has one called projectile. We're not using that. So we're going to edit this, and we're going to give this a name of mining range. And it's not going to be default to block, it's going to be default to ignore. And we're going to click accept. So everything is going to ignore this channel until we tell it otherwise. Once you put that on, it automatically saves in the project settings. You can click that close there, but what I generally just save all. So mining range, we now need to change this to custom, and what we're going to do is we're going to query only, and it's going to be it hasn't updated here, still called projectile there. Okay, let me compile and save. Let's see what happens now if I close this. There we go. It's automatically done it. Thank you. Mining range. So, it's going to ignore everything, except for build allowed. Okay. So this will only overlap build allowed. Nothing else will register. Nothing else will hit it and make it anything. And it's just going to build allowed. So now we have that set up, we can detect that in our miner base. So what I'm going to do here is, in the construct script, I am probably going to detect the mining range in there. So let's go into what we're looking at. What am I looking at? Construction script. Right. Okay. So in the construction script, we want to, the base construction script will run whatever's running in there. So we'll leave that as it is. So what we want to do is get all the collision objects. So whoop, type in the word overlap, and we need to find all the overlap objects. Now you used to get, oh, it's the other way around, isn't it? I first realised it overlaps the other way around. Let's just try collision, see if we can pick up get collision, and now we'll get actually get. There used to be get all overlapping actors. Was that the one? Maybe I need to bring that out of the miner itself. Let's just bring us a reference to self. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Self, reference to self. Get all over. No. Okay, so I don't think you can do it in here because it's just begin and end overlap. Let's just see what happens if we put it in the begin overlap. Let's forget the construction script. Begin overlap. Okay, bring that out. So we need to do I have to do it with the miner itself? Possibly. So custom, it's ignoring there, so we're doing overlap on there. Yep, so we're actually going to detect the overlap on the mining range. Okay, so that will be classed as collision responses. Yeah. So how do we detect the collision response? Get overlapping actors. Okay, there we go. Get overlapping actors as a resource base. Okay. This seems a little bit backwards and unintuitive to me at the moment, but I'm going to go with the flow. This may have to change, and I may have to change it halfway through because I'll probably realise this is probably not the best way. So, get all overlapping actors, and let's see. We know they're all of resource base for each loop. For now, let's just have a look, see what we're getting here. Body loop. Ooh, excuse that, some really loud motorbike outside. Sounds like it's about to explode. Loop body. What do we want to do? We want to print string, and we just want to go with see, that should come out as array of actors, overlapping actors, but with this class on, you'd think that would come out with this class. It just says overlapping actors, an array of actor object references, so they're not coming out as the correct object reference. So I don't really want to cast. Let's just put that in there and see what get its display name, and we'll go with that. So let's bring this. Not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything at all coming out of that while I'm moving it, which is odd. Oh, well, it's just on the overlap, isn't it? What did I just click the internet for? Yeah, it might have to be on the let's see if I can use this. Let's cut this off here. Let's not use the overlap. Let's go back to the construction script, because of course it won't fire until it's played, will it? So let's paste that in, and no, should we try self? And get over. No, I can't do it within this event. Okay, then that's going to be troublesome. Oh dear. That's going to be troublesome. So let's only on begin overlap, isn't it? There's got to be a better way of doing this. There really has to be. And BP resource base. Let's post that in. Compile. So if that should be in range there, I think. But it hasn't outputted anything, has it? Because that is constantly going. I don't want it to I can't see because it's constantly on. Right, okay, let's stop that. Clear the log. Let's see, clear all. And then we're going to turn the generator off by default. There we go. And it shouldn't give any messages. Oh no, it still will, won't it? It's automatic. Let's stop and see if we had anything in that overlap. So above this. No, it didn't. So how are we going to make this know that this is overlapping with that? We've made our miner. Let's just double check I've done this right. We've got our miner here, and oh, sorry, our default scene route. And why is it? Oh yeah, it's going to be an object. Sorry, the miner. I might make the miner default scene route actually. Let's have a look. So let's have a look at this. It blocks everything. Ah, but it's not classed as mining range, is it? So it's not going to pick it up. Okay. Okay. That is ignore. Oh no, not build out mining range. Yeah, this is world type dynamic, object type world dynamic. Sorry. So that's why it's not picking it up. Even though it's allowing to overlap with mining range, it's yeah, it's not picking up. Let me rethink this. Let's have a look. The mining range, object type is mining range, and it will overlap with build allowed. No. So it's going to have to be world static, world dynamic, not pawn at the moment. It may have to be pawn, but not at the moment. It doesn't detect itself. Build allowed, not visible. I'll not try that. Let's see that. and see if that, because I can see we were in the sphere, so I want to turn the generator debug off, don't I? That's going to help massively. So did I put that in here? I'm sure I did. I did a debug, or is it inside? No, I didn't. I don't think I didn't do a debug, did I? Maybe I should have on there. So let's go inside our generator and ignore this. This is just for setting the fan speeds. Again, I will go through that at some point if anyone's actually interested, but you know, you might want to make your own objects rather than what I do. But if you're interested on how I did it, then maybe I could do a little side video to show you that. So where are we putting the code for the debug? And because we don't actually need it now, do we? And I've not actually set any debug variables in there, so it's not on the tick, so it's either in, it's not in there either. Generate a tick. So where have I put it? Power required. Where have I put this? It's not in rotate fan. It's going to be on generator tick somewhere. Where's this coming from? Invent tick, sorry. There we go. Let's just disconnect the... That's only for debugging. I might have to put a switch in there to allow it to switch on for debug. So let's have a look. Let's see if anything came in the output log of this. All the way to the bottom. I'm still not sure what this thing is. I keep seeing it a hell of a lot. Let's clear the log. Stop it. Play it. I'm not getting anything at all, am I? This is confusing me now. This is where live coding really does. Well, it's not live, but just recording it as I'm doing it really does send you crazy. I'm going to hit this, and I'm going to hit F9. And we're going to run it. So what have we got here? There are no overlapping actors. Okay. Now that's strange because it is overlapping. We know it's overlapping because it's within that range. So are we are overlapping. Let's overlap all for now. Object type mining range. Let's overlap all and just debug this a little bit and see what happens. See, it's saying we're not overlapping with anything. Other actor. It's not overlapping. It's a sphere component. Trying to see if there's any rogue settings in there that doesn't look like there's anything in there. Okay, what about then we stop this, we remove that, and we get self. Now can we get overlapping angle? Get overlapping actors, just full stop, of class. Oh, that's why we're not. Okay, so right, can I get self get base? Can I get the base class? No, I can't. No, it's just hard code. It makes no difference because as long as it's a mining type. So get overlapping actors, and we want this as BP miner base. I was detecting the wrong one because I'm grabbing the actor that were overlapping. So the actual resource node, it should have been that I was looking for. So it should be the opposite I was looking for in here, but I was looking for itself. It can't be overlapping itself, surely. So, okay. Let's come out of there. What? Did I take the, oops, did I take the pause off that? No, I didn't. I'm begin overlap. Okay. I'm going to cheat a bit here, and we're going to do this there. Get rid of that, so we don't duplicate any code. Get overlapping out. I'm going to have to do it the other way around, aren't I? Because it's not coming up in begin overlap. Maybe because it's already overlapped before we've got to here. So yeah, let's change it to resource base and self. Yeah, get overlapping actors. So we'll find out everything that we're overlapping. Okay, let's try this. There we go, and we have 0. We're not overlapping any resource bases. Why is that? Looks like I'm going to have to do this in the inside the resource. Yeah, looks like we're going to have to do this inside the resource. So object type mining range, and the miner base needs to have overlap with mining range. Sorry, itself. What am I talking about? What am I doing? What am I doing? The miner. There we go. Right, the miner itself needs to overlap the mining range. Yeah. So let's go back into here. This is getting a little bit confusing. Oh no, I do apologise. So let's just do this on the tick for now. That's the debug sphere, isn't it? Yeah. Event tick. That's what we want. Let's move this up. So let's try and I want to get the mining range overlap. Let's see what happens. Let's bring this out, sorry. And we're just going to print. Oh, it won't come off there, will it? Print string. Let's just see, because it should be the only thing overlapping. Yeah, there we go. So we have, even though called BP minus small, it's not BP minus small. Oh, its name is, yeah, of course, because that's when it was made. Okay. So when it first starts the game, it highlights that. That's good. That's fine. So that's not a problem. So we need to now add in something into our miner base. So in our miner base, we need a variable called resource node, and this is going to be a type of resource. Ooh, I can't spell resource base. I'm going to expose on spot. I don't need any of that as far as I can tell. Okay, so this is now going to be allowed to be set. See, if we get the overlap one way, surely we should get the overlap this way. Print string other actor in. It's probably because of the type. It doesn't work now. Why doesn't that work? That's really odd. Because it is overlapping. We know it's... Oh, it didn't overlap just though, did it? It didn't show the other one either. Let's... Yeah. The begin overlap suddenly isn't working. Oh, because I took it out. Did I take it out? I must have took it out. Okay, now I'm getting really confused. It's still there. Active begin overlap. Still there. Why is it no longer firing? See, it is overlapping. I know it's overlapping. Okay. Let's do this a little different like we did last time. Yeah. We can't get overlapping actors, can we? Oh, maybe we can if we go to mining range, get overlapping actors. Okay. And we want for the miner base, that's all we want, and we want to print that, bring that down. Then with for each loop there, and then the element into there. Okay, let's hook that up. Hook that up. That means now we should list all the miners that are connected to us. Untick. There we go. So untick, I've got it. So good. So if that's the case, we should have it the other way around. Theoretically. So if I come back here and come into event tick and say miner get overlapping actors, yeah, and we come across here and for each loop plug in the array, and then we're going to print, and we're going to show that in there. This technically should give us the same result. Yes, it does. Okay. What a hard-assed way round. I've just done that. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, so I don't need it in the resource base anymore. So let's get rid of this hunk of junk here and get all that. Yeah. Right. But not bothered about it in here. So overlapping actors. We can only have one. So we're only ever going to detect the one. Let's save everything now. So, gosh, it's been 45 minutes already, and I've been waffling on. We've not got anywhere, but I promise we'll get onto something better in the next episode. But this is important. We need to detect what we've got. So, okay, what we need to do is, I think I'm wondering on event play. I'm wondering now if this will work here. I'll get rid of this. And begin overlap. But no, it didn't did it. That's a shame. So the begin overlap is not firing, but it is stored. I don't want to be, let's close this resource for now. I don't want to be constantly ticking through, checking our overlap actors. I only want to do this once. So we're going to create a, would you do it as a macro or should we do it as a function? See, I only want to do it on construction. Can I not detect it on construction? On construction, I can't get the overlapping actors on construction, which just seems a bit odd. It really does seem a bit odd that I can't detect during construction overlapping actors. Let me just bring this in. Get over No. It's a little bit awkward, that is. It means it's going to have to be on tick, unfortunately. We can keep the overheads down easily enough. Yeah, it's not a problem. We can keep the overheads down easily enough. Right, so how are we going to do this? Let's close the construction script because we're not using it. Event graph. So we now know we can get the overlapping actors and of resource nodes. Now we should only ever get one, but just in case we need to only grab the first one. There shouldn't be a resource node nearby. I'm hopefully going to make sure when I make the game that there's not going to be a resource node overlapping. And then as you can see in here, if we come out, you can see already the red disk. As long as we make sure that those are, you know, over 1,000 apart, so maybe, you know, 1,500 apart, you're never going to overlap another one. Yeah, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So where are we going? Where are we going? So we're not doing on begin overlap, we know that, and we must do it on tick, and we'll leave parent tick. So this is going to be a way of getting our, move that out of the way for a sec, our resource node. So what we're going to do on tick, we're going to do a get and turn it into a validated get. Okay, if it's valid, then we don't want to do anything. If it's not valid, we're going to run a function. So we're going to call this check resource node. There we go. And we're going to move that code from the tick here into here. And we're not going to do a for loop. We're going to get, let's see if there's, is there a get overlapping actor? So it just gets the first one. No, there's not a single collision. So it's get actor, and that's fine enough. We're going to get that, delete that. Let's get this, and we want this to be a type of resource base. Now that might change to metals if I change it later on, but at the moment let's just use resource base, because I'm not sure what other types I'm going to have. So at the moment this can only deal with metals. That's all this can deal with, metals and, you know, stones, that sort of thing, you know, ground based resources that, you know, solids as such, stones, metals, that kind of thing. So we just want to get at 0 if it's valid. Oh, need to do a check first. Get length. I think it's length. Just length. Don't you get? Yeah. Right, length. And then we want to do a comparint. So it's a little bit messy. I'll just explain this in a second. It's quite self-explanatory to be honest, but I'll just go through it. So what we're doing here is we're getting all the overlapping actors of resource base. We're then checking that the length of this is going to be larger than 0. And if it is, we're going to get the first one, which is at base 0, yeah, because it's 0 based. If it's not, we're just not going to do anything. So it must be larger than 0, yeah. If it's larger than 0, we're then going to, we'll bring this in and set this to this. And overlapping actors doesn't work that way. Yes, oh, what a nightmare. So now we need to cast to BP resource base. Where are we looking? Where have we gone there? Okay, we hook that into there, and then we can plug this into here. Okay, so that's all that's going to do. If it's got one that's in range, it's going to grab it and it's going to plop it in there. Okay, but this is only ever going to happen if we don't have a valid resource node. So we come back to our tick. This should only ever happen once, so it should never happen again. But this get is the only thing that's going to run anyway, so it's not a problem. So we'll bring this check resource node in there. And if it's valid, we're going to... Oh, sorry, if it's not valid, we're going to see if there is one. Yeah. So technically, if we run this now and click on our miner, we should have a resource there. Resource iron 1. Resource node iron 1. Yeah. Perfect. So we now know where we are. Yeah. And what we're connected to. So from that, we can get all the base details from that quite easily, which I'm going to have to probably do in the next episode, but I'll try and get these out pretty close together if I can, because we've spent a lot of time just trying to get that information out of there. The collision thing left a lot to be desired. So yeah, maybe I can do that a little bit better when we do it on spawn, because if I put it in the buildings here and we can change the building type to the miner and then we can plonk it out. Great. So what I could show you now quickly is we can now view all of this resource node here. So if I do it on event tick and I put let's put a stop on there, I'll have to run it through a couple of times probably. So let's just run it. Okay, and we should have to see, yeah, there we go, we have a resource node. Now we have access now to our ore range modifiers. Yeah, so using these now, we can now control what sort of ore we get. I'm not using this radius at the moment, but yeah. So basically, we've got to dig down to at least 700 to start getting any ore. Yeah, that's how deep this ore is for the edge, but the actual ore itself is centered around 1200, didn't we? That's what we set here. So 1200, so 1100 to 1300 will give you the maximum sort of modifier, and anything 1300 and above will give you 0 because you've gone past it. And all these separate ranges here will give you certain modifiers based on that depth. Okay, if you remember that from last time. So that means now in the next episode we can now build code, and it's going to be quite simple. It's just simple maths. Build code to detect what we're mining. Yeah, so we need to put some variables in here. Let's just quickly do that now. Put a few variables in. So we need to put in here, what did we say? So current resource count. Okay, and this is just be, now I am going to use floats at the moment because I think I am going to use, no, don't need to do that. I think we are going to use percentage of objects. I think, you know, using point whatever, whether grams or kilograms or whatever it is we're going to use, just make it different, make it, you know, one, you know, pure numbers of 1, 2 and 3 and so forth. Satisfactory usually use round numbers, but because we're using percentages, there's a chance that they will slip, and rather than keep converting them to integers all the time, we can just use a float and just use percentages. So when it's mining, it will add the current resource count in there. We also need to know what resource it currently is. Okay, so we can either check by going to the resource node, or we can check by going to here. We'll check going to the resource node. It's there. There's no need to duplicate it. But there's the current resource count. So that's basically, yeah, that's basically going to keep a track on what we pull out of the ground. But we need to work out how well this miner works, don't we? So we need a few variables for that. So we want to say efficiency rate, right? And that could be a modifier as well of some sort. So say we say the base efficiency rate on this is 0.75. Yeah, it's not perfect, this one. It's what we could do is, depending on each machine, we could have an efficiency rate basing from sort of 0.25 or something all the way up to 1, and and then you can add mods on to increase the efficiency rate. So we can actually get a little bit extra out of them, but that's going to be sort of advanced configuration, which I'm not going to go into straight away, but we're going to have that later on. So we will have to change some of the code and modify it a bit later on. But right now, I just want to be able to mine. I just want to be able to get something out of the ground. Yeah, and it's not going to be like physical objects that you'll see on the screen. It will just be this resource count here. Yeah, and it's just going to be a little bit of math. And believe me, it's simple math, very simple math. So this is where it all starts getting a little bit interesting. So yeah, let me leave it there for now. I'm sorry it's been such a long way round getting where we wanted for something really basic. But now we've got our basics groundwork for this miner. We can start building on it and start calculating extraction rates and so forth. Yeah. So hopefully that you didn't find that too boring and too tedious. But in the next episode, we'll actually try and get at least part working miner that can start pulling some resources out based on how deep it's digging and so forth. Yeah, so yeah, we'll leave it there, and hopefully I'll see you next time. So thank you for watching. Take care and goodbye.